Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. So for today's video I'm going to be doing a review and I'm really excited to talk about this book and what thoughts and emotions and feelings that this book gave me, because it gave me a lot. So the book that I'm going to be reviewing today is called When Breath Becomes Air, and this is just the Danish version, called Før jeg forsvinder by Paul Kalanithi. It's kind of a hard pronounce to pronounce. He's from India, so it's not easy. So I got the Danish version because the publisher Lindhardt og Ringhof were so sweet to send me this copy of the book. So I obviously got the Danish version because the publisher is Danish, but you can also get the English version. And the English version, as I also just mentioned, is called When Breath Becomes Air. Is obviously just about the same things. The story is completely the same. This has just been translated into Danish. So first of all, this book, I could cry through the entire book, but I decided not to. To say what it's about, you probably have heard a little bit what it is about. It's about a doctor. He is a surgeon. I think he's actually a neurosurgeon. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, otherwise I'm gonna put what he is down here, like just on the bottom. So he is working with this, and it takes forever to get this education, and he is just working with this for a long time. And the first 120 pages we hear about his life, like before he got cancer. We hear about how he grew up, we hear about his family, we hear about when he starts going to college, what he studied, and we hear about when he started his medical career. It's really interesting to read about. And we also read when he meets his wife Lucy. Then afterwards, that chapter of the book, we kind of start to hear his story after he was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and how he is struggling with that. And it's so heartbreaking to read. It really broke my heart because cancer is not a good thing. It's probably the worst thing in the world because it's really hard to cure, and it's just terrible. And I think it also felt really weird for him that he has always been the one trying to treat these patients for cancer or for the tumor in the brain before it got too bad, and now he's the one with a tumor placed in his lung. It must be so weird for him. And he also kind of describes that it was so hard getting used to being the patient instead of being the doctor. So basically that's what we hear. And then towards the end we hear Lucy talking about afterwards about the book and how he survived it, and how when he took his last breath and stuff like that. And I read it while I was in school, and I was so close to just go out and cry because I thought it was so sad. It must be so sad also as a wife to realize your husband is gonna die, and he can die now, he can die tomorrow, he can die in 10 days, but you know he's gonna die soon. It must be so horrible. Oh, I can't take it. So really that's what's about. And then there's obviously smaller details about, for example, when he got diagnosed with cancer, there were obviously times when he felt better, and then he felt worse, and then better, and then worse. And then Lucy and him decided that they wanted a child, and they got a child, and they now have a daughter. And I don't know, it's just such a sad book. I think this book really made me think about life, really. Normally I sometimes do have my deep thoughts at night, but this just really made me think about that this can happen to anyone. Anyone. And I have personally lost a family member from cancer, and it's horrible. It's a horrible disease. And I don't know, it's just, it was really hard to read about. And I think the book was really beautiful written. I think it was really interesting to hear about his life before he was diagnosed, and also to hear about how he survived it, how he dealt with it, and how he accepted that his fate was that he probably would die soon. To be honest, this book took me 2 days to read. I could have read it in 1 day, but I decided not to. But I really wanted to finish the book really fast. It had something to do with I couldn't take it. It was such a good book, and I rated it 5 out of 5 stars, but I could just not take it. I thought it was too sad to read about, basically. I am not gonna buy that many books more about things like that. But this book was really, really good. It was also pretty interesting to have like an inside look on how a man with his job like is, because I have read books by doctors before and it seems really hard to deal with this sort of thing. I also believe it is. You're kind of like dealing with patients that maybe are gonna die within the few months, days, years, who knows, and you're the one that has to bring that message. But it must also feel great to be able to cure some of these patients so they don't walk around with a tumor in their brain or something else. I just really enjoyed this book, but at the same time I just wanted it to be over because I thought it was really sad. But it was beautifully written and it was interesting to hear about, and I definitely think you should give it a go. If you want the Danish version, get the Danish version. I'll put a link down below to where you can get it, and also I will also put a link where you can get the English version. But this book is definitely worth reading, and if I have let myself done it, I could have cried 1,000 times during this book. But I hope you guys enjoy my little review. There's not much to say about this, except that the fact that this is a neurosurgeon, we hear about his lives before, and then how he deals with terminal cancer afterwards. There's obviously some smaller details, but I'm not going to explain everything because then it would not be interesting for you guys to read this book. But I'll see you guys next week. Bye!